Hello, everyone. Please bear with us while we get everyone connected for the SEO Fight Club episode. We're still waiting for Lisa to log in and join, and we'll be starting in a few minutes. I got to make sure that the stream is going okay to YouTube, and we will start shortly.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
My mic sound okay?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Lisa just said she is in. Let me see if I can find her in the list.
By the way, have you noticed how impossible it is to not touch your face?
Yeah.
It's easier to quit smoking.
So, Lisa, if you can hear me, you'll want to turn on your camera and microphone at the bar at the bottom. In theory, you should be in as an event host, but I don't see you in the list. All right. She's typing. See a bunch of people tables.
Presumably in the right place. Is she at the conference next door?
That's what I'm wondering. Hmm. Oh, she's trying again. Sorry, folks. We are professionals, as we always claim. Let me go ahead and check out the YouTubes in case we get some questions over there. And we are streaming live, so that looks good. I'll pop out that chat. Okay.
I still don't see her in the participants list on the right.
Wonder if she's under a different name than her own. She's at the right place, but Remo is bugging for her.
I had to refresh. I had to refresh the window before I came in here. So. There she is.
Oh, there we go. Hi,
Yay.
Lisa. How are you? Can you hear us okay? Down at the bottom, there's the cam and mic on. You'd need both of those.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone, for bearing with us while we
I don't think she
figure.
can hear you, Ted.
What's that?
I don't think she can hear you.
Oh,
I think there might be a delay.
All right. Let us know if you can hear us, Lisa. Can you hear us?
I can now that I can you hear me because I just had to plug in a microphone.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is going to be a short episode of SEO Fight Club. And I want to welcome our guest, Lisa Parziale, who is a renowned speaker and business coach, particularly in the area of closing big deals. Like, she is an expert at sales. She travels the world and helps businesses improve their ability to conduct big business.
Ted, do you have YouTube on?
Did I capture that correctly? Their ability to conduct big business.
Ted, do you have YouTube on?
Did I capture that correctly? I have YouTube playing in the background, so that isn't my screen. Did I capture that correctly?
There's like an echo delay.
Yeah. Somebody has YouTube playing. So, Lisa,
It sounds like we figured it out. You can still hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Sorry about that.
No worries. So I just told everyone a little bit about your background, that you specialize in helping businesses conduct big sales, close big deals. What else should people know about you?
Probably just that I've been doing this since the late 90s when I started a little on the side business of doing websites from way back when. So this is something I've done my whole life. And then also I was a stand-up trainer for 10 years and then managed training for another 10. So kind of something I love to do.
Awesome. So the reason I wanted to have Lisa on the show today is that last week we had Bruno who just spoke just now. So everybody here at the SEO Spring Training Conference, the first online SEO conference of the year, just saw Bruno speak. And it was a lot of the same material, some new material. And our audience at SEO Fight Club, they just went crazy. Half the people loved him, half the people hated him, and they were very anti-pitch. Why are marketers having so much hostility and anger about pitch? Why do you think that is blowing up in his face?
Honestly, everything right now, when when you put your finger on the pulse of what's going on in America, everybody is tense, right? And that's around the world. I'm sorry for saying America, around the world. Everyone is tense. Everyone is really on edge. We're all holding our breath. And so it seems almost inappropriate that anyone would pitch you. Everyone's looking for, a bailout or help. A lot of the businesses, he's talking to, they're struggling, they're scared. So right now, pitching is the hardest thing. So you got to find the balance, Ted, with you still need to work. We still need to make money. But how do we find the balance between making money, working, and not coming off sounding like we're insensitive? And I think that's the key. I watched that episode, and honestly, had he not mentioned his, advanced option, that was a payable option a few times, nobody would have said a word. So right now, we have to be a lot more sensitive about how we're doing things with our clients, with our customers. Even right now, going out here and doing these, we're marketers. How many people have ever got on one of these calls and didn't think you're going to have a pitch? 99 out of 100 calls like this has a pitch, but right now I think it's just the sensitivity to everything going on.
Yeah, I agree. Like, my background was enterprise SEO. I was in-house at, a 300 person online retailer, and we would go to Internet Retailer, the conference, and we go to SMX, and we go to all those shows. And we typically found that the presentations at those events had a little bit of value, but what really impacted the business was learning about solutions and technologies and capabilities from the exhibit hall floor. So from being in-house in a large business, trying to help that business on many fronts, we love the pitch. We were all about it. It wasn't until I left that enterprise environment and started working with independent SEOs that I started encountering this part of the industry, which is very anti-pitch. People are like, I hate pitch. I don't want to know. And I think the value of pitch is that, A, you become aware of what the rest of the industry is doing. And that awareness is valuable. If people are selling this solution and that solution is successfully selling, there's probably a good reason. Second, we're marketers. I think we learn from pitch. If I can see 15 different SEO pitches, I'm not going to be offended by that. I'm going to figure out which one nailed it and try to copy what they're doing. I want to learn from them. So I wonder, is there any possibility that hostility towards pitch is somehow related to level of experience? Shouldn't, as marketers, we become immune to sales pressure?
Well, think back, Ted, when you came out of that corporate industry and started going as a solopreneur. And I remember watching some of my first webinars from the likes of Kevin Wilkie and Laura Betterly, if you guys know those folks. I didn't know anything about pitches back then when I first got into the space and started looking at stuff. And so as I got seasoned, I just come to expect that now. Now, in the beginning, I didn't expect it. But now, as I'm seasoned, sure, I expect to every single webinar I go to, I expect there's probably going to be a pitch at the end of it. And that's okay, because I can get the nuggets out of it. So I would ask the question, the folks here in the chat, is it experience? Is it, maybe this is just natural, but I don't know. I think everyone's just more sensitive right now.
Okay. What about the notion that, as marketers, we need to be able to sell our services? Like, is there ever the problem, like I sometimes think we have, where when I have a show that has no pitch all the time, even the littlest pitch becomes outrageous? Should we be selling more constantly to train our audience? Or, what are we ruining our sales? So I guess the concept I'm trying to get at is, as someone who personally sucks at sales, I really respect sales because I've seen it succeed. But if you're not out there and you don't have that respect for sales and you hate sales pressure, you hate being sold, so you hate people who sell. I mean, are we training an audience to not be receptive if we're not putting in pitch regularly?
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with pitch, but it goes back to the old saying, nobody likes to be sold. Nobody. Everybody likes to make a decision based on information presented to them. So, cut out the word sold. And Ted, I've watched a lot of your trainings. You always give exceedingly great value and give people enough nuggets and enough content that they know that, okay, this guy's great. So if I go on to buy his stuff, I know I'm going to get good stuff. Kyle's the same way, Clint's the same way. That's why you guys rise to the top. Because when you give enough value, you almost don't have to sell. And that's why, Ed, I heard you say I give a light pitch. Well, that's because you've already provided so much value. You don't have to reiterate. They know you have a product. They know it's going to be fantastic. So at the end, you just have to mention, hey, I have this little deal, take it or leave it. It's the hard pitches, I think, that really, come through. Or how many times have you sat on a presentation where you got nothing out of it, and the only thing, if you don't buy the product, there's nothing you can take action with? Sure, people are going to get a little bit, angry with that because they spent an hour, hour and a half of their time. And if they don't have the means, don't have the reason to, sure, I can see the anger in that, but I don't think we stop pitching. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody likes to work for free, right? So, you didn't build Quora, so you could give it away.
That's correct. And, how about people that take the pitch too far? How hard is the art form of knowing when to stop?
I think pitching in a webinar is the same as pitching with a customer. I think if it's okay to ask for a sale, it's okay to ask for that business, but then stop. If I've seen webinars go on for, the meat was 45 minutes, and then I call it the beg fest was 45 minutes, right? So I just keep going on and on and on. And, hey, if you provided an extreme amount of value in that 45 minutes, I don't think you need, to spend 10 or 15 minutes more than that. I mean, you should be able to be done in an hour. And I'm not talking about Bruno's presentation. I'm not critiquing his. I'm just saying in general, it's just like every other customer. I think sometimes we forget that marketing folks are customers as well. They want to go through the same buying cycle as every other customer. They want to feel like they're important. They've gotten value. They weren't duped into something. They weren't tricked into something, and they didn't overpay. As long as they get, those things answered, I think people don't mind being pitched. There's nothing wrong with being pitched, in my opinion.
So you saw Bruno's episode last week. So final judgment. Was Bruno a bad boy?
No, I think he offered, I picked up a couple nuggets that I could run away with, and he got my mind going. He got my head spinning. I got back with my team. I told him, hey, I got some ideas, guys. And I said, go watch Bruno's, webinar. Will I buy the product? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I got enough value out of Bruno's presentation. I thought it was fantastic. So sure, I'd go looking at, what he was selling after that presentation. Did he, mention he had a paid version a couple times? Yeah. Don't we all? I mean, if we do have something paid, I'm one of the few that I don't always have an ulterior motive because I don't have a product and I rarely have anything I'm selling. But at the end of the day, I think his presentation I thought it was very valuable. It was worth my time spent.
Excellent. So now I'd kind of like to shift gears and have a group discussion about ideas about how SEOs could sell in the current climate. Do you have any advice you'd want to lead with?
Yeah, I've had a couple situations come up just this week that I knew I was going to be talking with you So I kept them at the forefront of my mind to talk about them. So right now, selling to people you don't know is going to be pretty tough, right? Everybody's taking their money and holding it on real tight. Every CPA, every financial advisor is telling everyone, keep your cash. Don't spend cash. So anything you're trying to sell, you better take a credit card, right? People aren't afraid to run up their credit, but they're not letting go of cash. So finding new folks is going to be a little tough. It's not impossible. Definitely not impossible. But the number one thing I would say is if you have existing clients, your number one goal right now is to make sure you are protecting those clients, you're keeping those clients. In a good economy, we always say that keeping a customer we have is way easier than going out and getting another one. In this situation, it's almost critical. As a big seller of websites, so I'm not just an SEO, I do a lot of web design. Last year, by this time, I think we made something like 200 grand. This year, we've made, no joke, $4,000. And think about that. For me, thank goodness I have residual customers who are paying the monthly bills, because if I were relying on, the one-time customer. So right now, keeping the customers you have, and the biggest way to do that, in my opinion, right now, you have to show your value. You have to show they're paying you $1,500, $3,000, whatever they're paying you a month. Why is it worth them not canceling you? Like, is there a way they're going to say, there's no way I'm going to get rid of Lisa because, oh my gosh, how did I make that happen? Well, day one, when this stuff started going down, I think March 3rd, 4th-ish, we sent out an email to every customer, a blanket email. Then after that, we started following up one-on-one. I bugged customers until they got on a phone call with me. I called them, I sent them emails. I said, it's imperative right now. You've got to get on a call if you want to make it through this. I got ideas. Sometimes I said that to customers. I didn't even have ideas yet, but that's okay. I knew I was going to have them by the time I got on the phone with them. And so many of our customers, some of the ideas we had were easy, right? We've got a guy who does environmental services. He's mold remediation. How hard is that? Hey, guy, we need to find out from the government, how can you go in and sanitize? Let's pivot your business. Forget asbestos right now. Let's do mold remediation. That's fine, but let's go in and do that. We had a distiller who distilled whiskey. And so immediately, how can you distill sanitizer? He was up and running in 2 weeks, and now he's selling more sanitizer than he ever sold whiskey. So you got to get in and be the person that helps them noodle it. Even if they come up with the idea, if you're the one on the phone when it happened, you're the hero. And then offer anything you can to them. Hey, look, we're here for you. We're like you, we're a small business. We're going to depend on getting through this with you. So I'm at your disposal right now. Whatever we can do to help you. I mean, we're busy. I don't tell them that, it's crickets in the house, because it's not. SEO wise, we're still busy as heck. But I think realistically, number one, you got to get out there and you seriously have to, protect the customers you have and be prepared for what I like to call the recovery, right? You guys have seen history, it repeats itself. Is there ever a time where we haven't recovered? I mean, we've recovered from great flus, and we've recovered from famine and depressions, and we will recover. Guess who those customers are going to remember? So even if you have to pause money, pause accounts, so far we haven't done too much of that. But I think if this goes on next month after, guarantee you my customers, I don't care how good of a salesperson I am, my customers are going to start calling saying, whoa, I'm getting nervous, I'm not sure I can pay. I got to be prepared for that. And, we can go into that. I don't know, Ted, if you want to go into that preparedness, but, loans, cash, there's a couple of tricks I'll tell you right now that the guys who right now make a run on the bank are the guys who are going to get money. The guys who sit and wait. So a CPA will tell you, hey, you've got a line of credit, let it sit there. Don't let it sit there. You got a line of credit, go get the cash now. Like today, like while you're watching this call, because these banks aren't going to be able to give everyone everything. So they're eventually going to take your line of credit you used to have, and they're going to turn it off overnight, and you're not going to know it. So if you've got access to cash, get it. That's how it's through.
Scary thought. So Kyle, Clint, what do you guys?
If you haven't checked your credit cards lately.
Yep, very true. What do you guys think about sales pitch in this current climate?
Well, when it comes, if you're selling something like Cora, a software or a product like that, And talking in terms of marketing, the idea of you can do this on your own, and here's how you can do it on your own. And then the idea is that I do have something that can fast track this for you if you like that concept. But I've always liked the idea of being able to teach, this is how you can do it. You don't need this, because there's very few things that any of us sell that are mandatory. You know, if you don't have this, you're just never going to be able to do it. You know, there are a lot of different ways to do SEO. So I've always liked the concept of showing, all right, this is how it can be done. Or if you like to fast track it, this is an option. I don't think there's any kind of problem with that pitch whatsoever. When speaking at the events that I've been speaking at, I don't do any pitching. Simply just, I'd rather talk about SEO or talk about digital marketing or talk about the things I'm doing. And if those concepts resonate, then people come to you and they're like, hey, do you have courses? Or hey, do you have products? Or hey, do you offer this? And then you get a customer base that's coming to you entirely. Than ever needing to pitch it all. So again, it's the kind of that value proposition. But I have to tell you, that's a long play. You know, I think the first conference I spoke at, I think I walked out with like 20K worth of business, and I thought I just figured it all out. And then the next 3 conferences, I think I walked out losing about $5,000. And I was like, I figured out nothing at all, and then I have no idea what I'm doing. So it takes years and years and years to make that kind of a play, which might not be if somebody wants to jump in as something they can do right now, that might not be the right way to go about it. But that's what I've done, at least in terms of SEO or marketing products and services and courses and that sort of thing. To Lisa's point, though, about with the clients you have, we do have an agency. I think one of the big things you can do is let people know that you are strong, you know, that you aren't going anywhere, that your business is going to survive this, you know, that these are uncertain times, but you know what, we're going to be here because we are a strong company, and we want to be able to prop you up. You know, our strength can be your strength. And while they have uncertainty about their own business, I think it's good for them to know that they have a support system that isn't going anywhere, and that you can be there and help them be a problem solver in these situations. And so I think that's a big note. Again, that doesn't necessarily say that's going to save you a client or might not even get a client, but it's part of that reassurance of these are uncertain times, but you know, one certainty is us, our agency. We are a certainty. We aren't going anywhere. We're going to be here to help you. So,
what about you, Clint?
Kind of along the same lines of Kyle, is to reach out, but I would be doing it for another reason. I would be reaching out with ideas in advance of them calling me and saying they're in trouble. And how do I adapt to that? And I'm going to use some niches that I got out of the IMG group. Let's go. He was talking, there's a national dance competition group. They had like 12 different clients out of this group, right? And they didn't know what to do, so they quit their SEO. Another one was a tattoo artist, didn't know what to do, so they quit their SEO. And another one was massage therapist, didn't know what to do, they quit their SEO. And this particular person who made the comment just kind of threw his hands up and was like, oh, that's just a sign of the times. There's nothing you can do right now, and left it out there. And I greatly disagree with that. I think you, as a marketer, if you're going to call yourself a marketer and you're going to say you're valuable to your clients, you should have been on the phone before they called you and canceled, and came up with new ideas and worked with them, like Lisa said, on how to change that out. Dance studios, guess what? They did a whole live concert on Fox TV from all over the world with a whole bunch of artists. There's no reason you can't have a dance competition with people dancing in the comfort of their own homes, setting out their own thing in their own choreography. So there, you got that handled. Tattoo artists, they still have to draw, they still have to book appointments, and they still have a calendar that they can fill up, taking deposits for that calendar 6 months in advance. And there's money for them, and they can still reach out and reach that thing. And the massage therapists, guess what? Couples, they're stuck in their homes right now, and why not do couples massage therapy training online? So all of this, throw up their arms and, oh, it's not going to work, you know. Personally, this is probably a good time for you to get out of the idea of thinking that you're just an SEO, and you're a marketer, and it's a good sign for you that it's time to transition. Stop playing games, transition, and start learning these new skills, and learn to think for yourself so that you can help these people out. That's my stance.
The advanced booking idea, because you can offer discounts. You can be like, hey, you know, we book out this far. we'll give you this kind of discount, but that gives you cash right now to keep you going in the short term. That's a great idea.
Yeah, everything here in Arizona is locked down. They just locked it down, yesterday, Kyle, I think it was, when we got locked down. But my tattoo artist, he's still smart. He's still collecting money. He's still doing the drawings. He's still working out all that stuff and just using the internet to do it. And there's no reason that every other tattoo artist out there can't do that. They should be.
Initial consultation lessons.
Yeah, there's going to be a recovery. It's not a matter of if, when. So that's another thing we've been doing, is just telling folks, hey, now's not the time to quit your marketing, because at the end of the day, those guys who do, you're going to be ahead of them. So let's see what we can get ready for this recovery, because it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of great ideas here. So you can sell the service now as a certificate that's redeemable later when the world resumes, but people can lock in the discount now by buying today. If you look at your marketing, if you go to your inbox, if you look at all the brochures coming in your mailbox, it is literally Black Friday every day right now. We're seeing sales that are 50% off, 75% off. It's Black Friday every day. If you don't have your Black Friday hat on right now, you are being left behind in your marketing. That's the opportunity. And what's going on is you have to get aggressive right now to overpower people's fear. You have to show them something that they've always wanted, a great deal, and right now is the time to capitalize on it. And you shouldn't be afraid to do that. And in fact, you need to compete right now, because if you don't come with that type of marketing game, you're going to be lost among all the 50% off, 75% off sales that are common. So, think about it as a prolonged environment of Black Friday. And that's what I would recommend. So, right now, we're at the 35-minute mark. I want to leave it for one last round of thoughts and ideas, and then we'll let everybody here at the conference get a restroom break and network at the tables. We'll let the conference kind of reset for the next round of speakers. And if you're out in YouTube land, you're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about. We're at the SEO Spring Training online conference that's going on this week, and we have speakers all week long. It's an amazing thing. It's a bit late. Maybe they'll have last-minute ticket sales. They should offer a last-minute ticket to join the conference. So hopefully the conference people decide that, hey, let's do late tickets and get a few more people in the door, because that's another thing you can do with your online events right now. So there's a lot of great ideas here. A lot of people are having fun. Let's give it back to Lisa for final thoughts on anything at all.
Thank you, Ted. I think for me, it goes back to the same, and something that Kyle said that's really, really important. People are looking for leadership right now, and they're scared. You be the leader, and they will follow. And if you go out and you exude confidence, all of my folks know and I have 24 people that work with me. They all know they have jobs, period. I will pull out of my own personal. We'll get through this. But I'm also telling my clients the same thing that I think Kyle said, which was brilliant. Guys, we're here, and we're going to be here at the other side, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to make sure we get through this together. And you let them know that you're the leader. You're going to help them. You're going to find resources for them. You're going to find information for them if you have to. I'm doing a webinar later today for all of our clients, to where we're just giving them information on the SBA.gov loans, and we've brought in a CPA to come in and talk to it. Again, I'm the leader. I'm the one organizing all this. So if they fire me, guess what? They lose these resources and these things. And by the way, we're not letting our customers fire us right now. Anybody who calls us, we tell them, and we don't want to announce this obviously, or this won't work very long, but we basically say, hey, look, we'll either work with you or we'll put it on pause. Yeah, but we're really not going to let people just walk out the door and say, screw you if you can't pay me. That's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is service them, and on the other side of this, they'll still be your customers.
Great. Any final thoughts, Clint?
I think it's the same. Yeah, kind of caveat of what she just said is, let's not be kidding ourselves. The profit margins in SEO are really, really good. And you can make a sacrifice for a month or two to help a business get through that kind of thing too. So if there is absolutely no other way whatsoever for them to make money, at least you can be the guy that's there, stuck through with this, and then it's just ready to carry right off on the back later down the road. So.
The last thing that I would add is that when you're looking, so you obviously need to get leaner too, right? This is a time where you need to tighten up, but where you can get lean is in your processes, taking the time to actually go through and all the steps that you are doing for a particular task or for a particular service that you provide or something that you do for a client or for your own sites. What you'll often find is redundancies. And if you remove those redundancies, you'll become leaner. You're going to become stronger. That's a way that you can start trimming the fat off of your operation budget and coming out better on the other side. So you can reduce costs, finding those redundancies, finding those bad processes, finding those slow processes, often where things can be combined. You have this person doing this over here, and then later that person's doing that over there. That same person could do them both at the same time. It cuts time in half, and then that goes into your overall cost. So I would stress that now is a great time to look at those processes, see what is redundant, what can be trimmed out, and become better. You'll be leaner now. You'll save money now. You'll be better when at the end, and you're also going to provide a better product or service to your clients at the same time. And then that's something you can impart to them. These are times where they can look at their own processes and how you can help them, through their marketing and their marketing teams or their different marketing channels. You can walk through those processes with them. And now that you've got a keen eye because you've already walked through your own, so you know what to look for or where things might have holes or gaps where just you're making expenditures you don't need. So I would look at that as well.
All right. And I want to thank Lisa Parziale for coming on the show. Lisa, if somebody needs help closing high dollar sales, how can they get a hold of you?
I'm pretty accessible either on Skype, Portside, PORTSIDEM, or you can just email me at lisa@portsidemarketing.com.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I really wanted to talk about sales and pitch and SEO, and I felt that we really needed a world-class expert to come chime in on what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. And so thank you so much for coming on the show. At this point, we'll look for a couple questions, but then I want to give everyone a chance to network, and we'll get ready for the next half of the conference speakers. So let's look for questions. I see one in the QA. Let's see. Any advice on what to do or say for those clients asking to take a break during this pandemic until it's business as usual? So what do you say to people asking to go on pause?
Yeah, so I've already perfected, I'll call it my response to that very thing. And fortunately, we've only had 2 clients even call. What we are saying to them right now is, look, I'll be happy to pause your payments if that's what you want to do. I understand these are difficult times, that kind of thing. But then we follow up with, but let me assure you, there's going to be a recovery. And if you get rid of all the tools in your tool chest, how are you going to recover? You're just going to get into a deeper hole. And everything you put into your marketing is going to go away. And it's such wasted money. So let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about things we can figure out. And worst case, I will try to at least salvage half of that account. Out of the 2 people that called us, one didn't give us an opportunity to even salvage. They did it over email and refused to talk to us. The other person, we did save. So, at the end of the day, you have to assure them that it's the worst mistake of their life. Because frankly, most of these people, Ted, they haven't even cut their cable, their phone. They haven't cut any of that stuff yet. They're looking at an SEO as a big expense. You just got to let them know that that's the worst mistake they can do. We are the tool in their tool chest that'll help them recover. If they get rid of us, there is no recovery, and they're just buying time until they go out of business. So don't be afraid to use strong terminology and strong language there.
Yeah, pitch. I agree.
Exactly. Yeah, and remind them that you're going to get through this, and you can help them do the same thing. That you have 100%, like Kyle said, you have 100% confidence that I am going to get through this. And if you let us continue to help you, we will make sure you do too. So do what you can. I even had to say in an email to one customer, hey, if you got to tap into your savings, do it. That's what I'm doing. At the end of the day, you have to get through this or you will close your doors. And we are probably the only people positioned to help you.
Yeah. And my final thought is there's no reason for outrage on pitch. You can always say no. And as marketers, I mean, it's kind of what we do. We're broadcasting pitch to the world. That's what marketing is. So if you hate people who pitch, there's going to be, some amount of self-hate going on there. And that's just kind of an immature thing, from the enterprise side of the world. You should be able to look at a pitch and say, I thought these parts of it were great. I thought these parts could be better. Ultimately, I'd have to say, no, it's not right for me right now. I won't say no always. Whenever somebody makes a sales pitch, I'd say, it's really cool what you're doing, but it's not the right time for me for this solution. So I have to say no to it right now, but maybe we could talk in a year or two and reassess. You can always give the soft no. So I think outrage kind of shows inexperience. That's my personal opinion. But who knows? Maybe you can come at pitch more professionally. Maybe you can show your experience in how you handle pitch. And that's my takeaway. So with that, if there aren't any final thoughts, we'll let people get back to networking and get their bathroom breaks. Thank you again, Lisa, for coming on the show. Thank you, Kyle and Clint.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. And with that, I am going to stop the presentation. So we stop streaming to YouTube because the rest of the event is not public. So JC, this might cut you off. You might have to hit the present again once I do that.